Hello and welcome to day number 1 of 5D and beyond. So this is a last minute kind of creation that I actually kind of been creating since last year. I had so many ideas of what format I want for this class, and then I just put it on kind of hold and wanted to see if it's actually ever gonna go anywhere. And so yesterday I was kind of pondering about all the things that's happening around the world, and just realized that probably it's not just me, that I actually looking for ways to create something based on old principles. For the last few years, I've heard this story about that we are moving to the Earth is moving to fifth dimension and even maybe beyond, and we are moving along with it. So we basically, in a sense, have no choice of whether we're going to 5D or not. It's almost like one of those things that when we are all going for a ride, and it's really up to you how this ride is gonna go for you. Because if you like, for example, when it comes to different frequencies and energies, for example, in this sense that Earth is going up in the energies. I'm not sure how far she's going, let's call her she, the Earth, or in what vibrational frequency she is right now. But if we are moving along or staying put, it actually depends how we are going to feel on the Earth. So if we are, if the discrepancy between, for example, my energy frequency and frequency of Earth is, if the gap is really big, then I actually might feel kind of discomfort, or maybe even feel really bad, physically, emotionally, spiritual, etc. But if I actually move along with the Earth, sometimes maybe she's higher, sometimes maybe I am higher, but it doesn't matter. So for me, life actually gets easier and easier, because if we are moving to higher energies, life, from my own understanding, is that my life gets easier and, in a sense, simpler. Because from my understanding, that if we are moving, let's say, from 3D to 4D and 5D, the things that were kind of relevant in 3D are not going to be relevant in 5D. And that mostly comes with different lower frequency energies, like, for example, anger, grief, sadness, hate. Those are all lower frequency energies, and those are predominantly for 3D. In between, there is a 4D, where I kind of see it as a corridor, as a waiting room to where we getting out of 3D. Then we do some learning and adjustments, etc., and then we're moving into 5D. Because our job, not our job, we are never almost like meant to stay in 4D. It's like a place to prepare ourselves for the next level. Because it's not that we can just jump from 3D to 5D. It would be like going in a, like in a space. You go from one pressured environment to different pressure environment. You're just gonna either implode or explode. Or like when you go from in the ocean, from the surface of the water, and if you dive in the water, and if you go too fast and too deep, you actually gonna implode. I think that's the thing. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what happens when you actually implode. And if you go up in space without preparation, without proper suit, you're actually gonna explode, or maybe other way around. So that would happen if we move too fast to 5D from 3D. That's why we need to be in between in a 4D. And if you actually chose to this class, I do believe you are already in 4D. And it's still our job to actually kind of leave behind those things that doesn't allow our expansion and ascension, and activate and develop those things that actually gonna help us move up. And from my understanding, there are different layers in each dimension as well. Like, for example, there could be different, like 10 levels of ascension in 4D. So with each level, you kind of, it's almost like in a video game. You move up in a level, you collect different points. That's your activations, and you maybe leave behind lots of like lower frequency energies, and that's how you collect kind of points. So you do different tasks and things like that. So purpose of this class, the intention of this class, is actually kind of accelerate this our ascension, and move there faster and have more ease with it. And I got this realization, like, I kind of been pondering about it for the last couple of weeks, because it's almost like these things when, like, I've been trying to kind of create my business. I've been seeing how I will, if I'd like to create more, like a relationship, or with money, or anything else, or with my body. And then it kind of dawned on me that it felt like I've been just prolonging my misery in a sense, or just pushing back the my progression or ascension or anything, even though eventually I will have to do it. And because no one's gonna do ascension for me. Like, even the earth is moving with its own speed to, let's say, to 5D. And at one point I kind of had the thought that, so I'm gonna get there eventually. So if earth is moving, I'm just gonna go along with it. But it's actually not the case, because we have to, because on earth we have free will. Maybe not always we actually kind of see that. And actually, a couple of weeks ago, I did a call about free will, if you want to have more on that topic. But it's our free will whether to move or not to move. And I kind of have a metaphor, like, for example, if you are riding a horse and it's going slowly at the beginning, so you feel comfortable, and it starts to pick up the pace, and you kind of feel like, oh, it's okay, but I still can go along with it. But the horse starts to go quicker and quicker and quicker, and but horse is not going to stop because I want it to stop. If I want to stay on the horse, I have to learn to actually kind of ride it. And in this sense, I have to learn to ride it while on the horse. Because if I actually, at some point, decide, oh, I can't be bothered to actually do anything about it, I'm actually going to fall off the horse. And that's what's would happen if we actually don't set any tension to move along with Earth and raise our vibrations intentionally. Earth is just gonna shake us off eventually, and it's not gonna wait for me to actually do whatever. And so that's kind of mine. And I wanted to do this because I thought I would do this by myself, but then I thought it would be more interesting to actually invite everyone else's. And so today's is probably going to be a little longer. I want to just explain how is this going to work, especially if you're the first time attending one of my multi-day classes. And especially this one is going to be progression on each previous day. So I would recommend you actually listen each in order, especially if you are the first one. But then again, each of our journeys is not going to be the same. So if you feel that if you have awareness not to listen in particular order, then do it. You just have to ask which of these days, especially if we already have gone through all of 21 and you are just purchasing or signing up for a full class, because at the moment we are only on day 1, so you have no choice just to listen day 1. But if you feel that you got awareness to listen it in particular order, then do it. Because at the end of days, this is your journey, and each of our journeys is different, and mine is not gonna be the same as yours. I just invite you to go along with me in the journey. And if you are like attending class live, and it might get hard at some point, because if you raise energies, there could start to show up things that you didn't want to kind of look at, you didn't want to, you kind of push down. These things can happen because for us to actually move up, we get lighter. And to get lighter, we have to drop all the heavy things. So there will be things that are going to show up. And this is kind of disclaimer. Every time you work with energies, stuff is going to show up. And if you're joining for the live class and anything shows up, please share it in the chat, and we could actually clear that. Another thing I want to tell if you are attending one of if this is the first time you are in one of my classes, I actually use something called light language to clear all the energy that shows up. Like, for example, why do I love light language and why I use it? Light language doesn't have words. It actually doesn't have words that we understand. It's basically sometimes different sounds, different just letters and things just put together. It's basically just energy. It's almost like reading the energy, because each sound, each tone, each syllable, each letter has its own vibration. But if I was using like a words in English or words in my language, my native language, which is Latvian, each of those words already has a meaning, so it's actually already limited. And in the sense, this language is not limited, light language, because it can be anything, and we can't comprehend it with our mind. Another thing that I love about light language, that you can set up intention and it's gonna do its magic to actually, oh, my phone is low. Hope it's not gonna die in the middle. But if it's gonna die, I might continue on my tablet. And So yeah. So you basically set up intention, like for example, I want to change this in my life, and you do light language, and it actually follows the energy of intention and clears it and activates it or changes anything. And in a way, it's kind of perfect for this class because I have no idea where it's gonna take me. I have no idea where it's gonna take us, because I have no idea what is gonna be like in 5D. I just heard stories from other people, and especially if we are going there anyway, and the sooner we actually start to work on that or set intention to get there. Because if I set up intention to actually get there sooner rather than later, universe is actually going to support me. It's actually going to give me resources to actually do that. And I kind of get that it might get sometimes hard, because when I did the previous light language classes, I actually did 50 days of light language transmissions, the similar like I'm doing today, and I got ill for 2 weeks. I literally spent 1 week in a bed, and because our body has to kind of catch up. Our bodies in 5D are not going to be the same we are now, and because the body is kind of 3D product, it will have to go through different changes. So you have to be kind of ready for that, and you have to take good care of your body. If you feel like you are actually, it's getting hard for your body, you can either stop the class and take a break for a couple of days, or you maybe can do some health care. And I might do in between the or during the transmissions, I might add something like the light language codes to actually have ease with your body. Hi, Lilda. You just
Ciao.
Ciao.
Hi. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao. You just joined in the middle of the. So for today, so if you, Lilda, you just joined, you can actually listen recording of the first part. I basically explained what is what with this class. And so today's light language transmission, I actually just want to clear everything that we have decided 5D is, and how going to 5D is, and what it's gonna look like or what it's not gonna look like, all our points of view about it. So we will see where it goes. And if you are, again, if you are first time listening light language, I just recommend you to just sit somewhere comfortably, or you can lean, rest your back on in a chair, or lie down and close your eyes, and allow the energy of just basically kind of soak in your body, and just don't resist it. Just relax and kind of explore for yourself what's that like, because everyone experiences everyone has a different experience with it. I usually have a goosebumps or like a cold shiver going through my body, and so it means it's doing something is happening. If you don't feel anything at all, don't worry. Your body might not have a developed kind of senses when it comes to energies, especially if you are new to this kind of stuff, or it might not be relevant for you at this time, or it might not be relevant anymore for you at this time. Okay, so let's get to the transmission and clear everything that we have decided 5D is or isn't, what it's gonna look like or what it's not gonna look like, or your kind of preconceptions about it. Because we have read a lot about it, and only people who are already there knows what it's like. And today I kind of get awareness that even if someone told us what it's gonna be look like in a 5D, with our current sense of thinking, especially if we are not there ourselves, we might actually not gonna believe that person because our awareness is not there yet. Okay, so sit somewhere quietly, close your eyes, relax your body, and see where it's gonna take us. Sahana tesha tam halhava viehata. Ona nasana noshata alhata viehama viema. Serehene desha nashada sheketa. So hana doma tamashata piema tavashata hieta. Ehema nashana miena masana shatema tawasata. Alhan han shashata sheta shar shehevata. Ehene dena nashana halhada viehata. Erehene mir han tashata tiehata. Allahana shata shahita. Elehene diena manama shatana mohata. Anhana shate matapata vashata. Hemene mina masana bopata. Pomamo papana mohta bosata. Allahana basana vahata vehata. Ehemene manamashata shivaha wata. Allahana dashata piehana mahata vahata vata. Ere heman stesiana masata vasata. Allahana dashata pievata. Erehena mahana masata pievata mohata vashata. Elehena miena masana viehata vashata. Erehena miena manashana miehata vashata. Elehena miena mashana viehata. Allahana shatehata. Allahana ashana sheva shahata. Ehemene manama shana miehata. Erehemene manama shata viehata. O hanado mananoshita. Emihana nasata tihata. Siemahan sheda shohat. Yana mana masata viehata dopa hasata miematasat. Olohana nohata mohata. Eheme miena vasata pieha pavasata. Asana mihal hashata pohata. Eheme miena manama sata viehata. Allahana deepatashata hohata. Eheme niema nama sata. Ereheme namasata viehata. Erehene mira mahana vashata sheta shatas. Erehene mahasata viehata. Erehene mira mana masa viehata. Erehene mira hanashata shoda shawohat. Alhana dasana viehata. Erehene mahana vashata mehala hashata. Ehiema namasata mahana vashata. Siemhene mihana vohana mahata vasata. Alana masana mihata vohata. Alhana shasha vohata. Elehene mihana vohata. Erehene mihana mashata pehata mahasavata. Erehema mahasava shavohata. Ereheme demadashata mahadasata. Ya hamata vehama vasata. Ye me vivata vasata. Alhana Mahatavahat, Erihene Mihana Mahalohot, Eriena Mahana Vashata Pirt, Erihana Mahana Vashata Shodoshota, Shohamadoma Mosata Mihatavata, Erihana Nasana Shota Pashavahota, Erihana Mahatavasata. Allahana Dashata Pirhana Mahatavahata, Ehene Mirhata. Elehene mirhana mahasada shatavata. Ehemana masana vohata. Erehana mahasa shatavihata. Ehemene mana masana miasata mohata. Epiemana sata sheta sahata. Ahamadiyamana masata vasata. Elehene miashata shohata. Ohana mohata shana sheheta. Ehemana masata piavata mahata. Ahana Satyashana Mahada Vyakatavu. Ohana Hasana Hasata Sana Sikhet. Shiri Hanana Hana Masata Vohas. Ahana Sheta Vyakata Mahata. Amahana Mashate Shekhat. Ehiamana Mahal Hashata Hot. O Lahano the Bashana Mohada Shekhat. Ehiamana Sata Pyakatapa. Ere Henamihana Wash. Elehenemiana mashada voshana mahata shehatama. Ehemeni masana vas. Alahana mahata hit. Erehenemi hana shoy pahata vahasana. Alhana sheta pahata sahata mahata. Yemana mashata mahat. Elehana mahana vasha mahat. Elehenemi hana vashana mahata vihat. Ya namasana mehata shona mashada heta. Alhana sana vahata. Elehene birhana hata washata. Yaham hateta samu. Yahamata masaveta mahota. Yahana mihata veta masota. Yahana mihta vahana mataveta samu vota. Okay, so this was a day 1 of transmission. Oh, I didn't get any more awareness to actually share anything else. But as always, you're gonna get the recording of this in the group, and I'm gonna share a link to where you can actually download audio version of it, and I'm gonna cut out just the transmission and make it a loop a little bit longer, like 15 minutes or so. So you can actually just listen to the transmission if you wish so. Or if you are joining us later, you don't really have to. Or if you want to do this kind of class again in the future, you just take the transmissions and listen again in order how they are done, or follow your awareness and actually create your own order with it. Okay, that's all for today. And thank you very much for being here live with me. And I will see you tomorrow again. Bye-bye.
Paldies.
Lūdzu.
Thank you.